Postgame is presented by Tylenol Care Without Limits. Joe Musso, Bryant McFadden, Ryan Harris, 3 rings among us, and the Bills continue the quest for theirs. B-Mac, this was a masterclass in game management, and sometimes that's lobbed as an insult at a quarterback, but this team, the way they controlled this game, how did they?
Just in terms of making adjustments, we must remember 31 unanswered points by the Buffalo Bills because Denver scored on the very first offensive possession. Outside of that, they had no success. And then Josh Allen got things going. And we can talk about Josh Allen like we've done weeks past anytime he lines up for the Buffalo Bills. But I would love to highlight James Cook because the running game was very, very vocal for the Buffalo Bills today because we know what number 17 can do at the quarterback position. But when he has the running game that he relied on today at his disposal, look out. This offense can be very, very difficult to go against.
I'm with you, B-Mac. I think that it was a fantastic job by Josh Allen. And what game management meant today was that he was patient with field goals for about 2 quarters until he got 2 touchdowns. And that's what the Bills needed Josh Allen to do. That's the difference when people say he's taking care of the football. He's not trying to beat the field goal. He's just trying to beat the opponent. And he knows the way his defense is playing that he was going to get multiple opportunities to get the ball back. And B-Mac is absolutely right. Running the ball like that with Cook creates havoc for the defense. That's why there were so many receivers one-on-one and wide open, because those linebackers were coming up off of just even short play action fakes because of that run game. So a fantastic game for Josh Allen and his patience. And that's what he will need moving forward to become a champion if he can get there.
Cook finishes with that $120. I can't help but think about the team they're facing next in the Ravens, what they did a day ago on the ground with Derrick Henry complemented by elite quarterback play. It's going to be a blast. We'll get there. Plenty more to cover here as well. Ryan, I want to come right back to you because this Broncos offense, they struck lightning on play 5 of this game, but the old adage then rings true. They did not strike again. What did you see offensively that limited them from there?
A lot of drop balls, a lot of missed opportunities. And look, this is what the playoffs are. So many young teams. I was there. B-Mac was there. Your first playoff game, you are shocked at how much faster the game is, how much quicker linebackers and corners fill the areas, and how much more focus that a team who's been practicing for 8 weeks has for one opponent. And so at the end of the day, the Broncos looked like they thought they maybe won the game in the first quarter. That does not happen in the playoffs, especially against the Bills. And the Bills, who had been to the playoffs and disappointed in the playoffs before, they understood how much time was in the game, and they weren't going to allow that opening drive to dictate the rest of the game. So the Broncos learned what it would take. They have the tools, they have the skills. It's amazing they were there in the first place with a rookie quarterback, and they now know what it's going to take to win a wild card round, which is very, very different as each round increases in intensity and in the hits.
Bo Nix finished with 144 yards through the air. 43 came on that touchdown pass in the first drive. The Buffalo Bills did a great job keeping the roof on the house, keeping everything in front of them. And that has been their mentality the entire season. They don't usually allow splash-like plays coming from the opposing offense. Any plays of 20 or more yards, that hasn't been the thing for Buffalo. And when they allow that mishap to take place, you look at the sound adjustments moving forward that really limited Bo Nix from being the Bo Nix that we've raved about throughout the course of his rookie campaign. This is a well-coached group with the Buffalo Bills. They execute the right way, and they do a great job in tackling as well, because if you look at the flow of the game, listen, as a fan watching the game, when you saw how easily Denver had success, you thought this would be a back-and-forth affair, but because of the sound adjustments the Buffalo Bills made, they were able to efface the offensive game plan from the Broncos.
It was an impressive performance here by the defense. Obviously, the offense doing their part and surging down the stretch. We've got more coming as we take a look at some numbers here. Out of a dominant performance by the Buffalo Bills, most career playoff rushing yards by a quarterback, you know,
Lamar just had that record.
To Lamar for about 14, 16 hours, and Josh Allen here gets him by 7 total. We will have these two going head-to-head in the divisional round, an MVP race, a race for this graphic, and a race to keep playing on AFC Title Day. Let's take you back out to Highmark, where the lead analyst of the NFL on CBS, Tony Romo, joins us now. Tony, this is another one to celebrate here, and it is impressive down the stretch what the Bills did, but I want you to take me to the first half. Game control really ringing true. Not blowing the doors off the thing, but the game plan and the way it was executed early on. What did that tell you about Buffalo and their comfort in this moment?
I think you just described it really well right there. Their comfort in this moment. It's just a belief that you're going to wear down your opponent and you're going to impose your will. And they did that. And they executed their plan at a very high level. I mean, the scary part is the more you run the ball, the more you take it out of Josh Allen's hands. And it's like, oh, that's tough with the season on the line. But we're good enough to do that. And I don't think they've had, that two-dimensional offense in any season of the Josh Allen era like they do now. They really can rely on James Cook at times, then go to Josh. The one area that just is always, it's not even mind-boggling anymore, it's just in situational football on these third down plays, Josh Allen's going to have the ball, and he's going to use his legs under 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 4th and 1. It's automatic. Other teams know it, and they still can't stop it. It's a man amongst boys in some ways.
Completely in control and once again protecting the football. You talked plenty pregame and throughout the broadcast about the importance of when Buffalo did get it down to the red area, holding them to 3. Twice in the first half, Denver was able to do that. But on the drives following, 3 and out, 3 and out. Did that almost feel like not getting points off a turnover? How big was that in game flow sense?
You're exactly right. I mean, it's complementary football. You held them to 3s, but your offense has to kind of show up, and they just weren't able to keep the time of possession. And each time that they had to punt, it just kept feeling like it's a matter of time, and they just ended up imposing their will on this Broncos team.
Tony Romo, we appreciate you stopping by. As always, please give our best to Mr. 500, a tip of the cap to Jim Nantz as well.
You got it.
All right, our crew doing great work there from Highmark, and the show goes on. The AFC playoffs, the same 4 teams in the divisional round as they were a year ago, but this time we get Allen versus Lamar. It's the MVP conversation that's captivated a nation. Well, this isn't a part of the vote, but certainly a data point that will stir some conversation. Time now for Unsung Heroes, presented by Tylenol, as we continue to break down what we saw in this wild card round. I know Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I know Cook.
Yeah.
I know that there's these big names that are going to define whether you move on or you move out. But the unsung hero for you out of this game was who?
Offensively, you talked about Cook. Because when you think about the Buffalo Bills, you don't think about the rushing attack, the ability to lean on defenders. But Cook provided that element in today's matchup, and that's something they can lean on moving forward. Like I said, this offense will be difficult to stop. 23 touches for 100, 23 carries for 120 yards and a touchdown. And every yard he was able to gain was impactful because it took pressure off of their star quarterback in Josh Allen. And like I said, if they can keep this mindset moving forward throughout the playoffs, you know what they can do with their playmaker in Josh Allen. But when Cook is cooking in the kitchen like he was cooking today, good luck in trying to slow this offense down.
And one more thing, what B-Mac's talking about, when you have a running back running like that, you get the eyes of the defense on every play in the backfield while the wide receiver is going deep. But for my unsung hero, it's Matt Milano. What a fantastic game. Second most tackles for the Bills tonight. This is a different defense with him back since the beginning of December. And I'm so happy for this aging veteran because having veterans like that on your team, especially defensively, it creates urgency in every moment of the playoffs, not just in the games, but also in the meetings leading up to it. And that's one of the things that Matt Milano brought to the field today. Matt Milano's my unsung hero, and I'm cheering for him big time, even though he's a defender.
A couple of unsung heroes right there. Before we go, I would be remiss if we did not sing for those unsung in the voice of Bo Nix, because this is a team that I know you wore the helmet, Ryan, and I know you got the ring, and I know they haven't been there since today. Like, today's the first time that we have smelled playoff football for the Denver Broncos, and that young man took them to this height. A word on the season here that was for Bo Nix and the rising belief behind him right now from the Denver Broncos.
Well, Bo Nix improved every quarter of the season, and he had scoring drives to start each of the last 2 games. This is the least amount of production he's going to have. He didn't understand how things worked in the first quarter of the season in those first 4 games. He didn't understand how teams in the division are going to change completely defensively when you play them a second time. And remember, this is a Bo Nix who went to Kansas City and they lost the game on a missed field goal, took the Bengals to overtime on the road, and still had an opportunity to win themselves into the playoffs. Bo Nix has been fantastic for the Broncos, and it is a big reason for the future success and happiness of the Broncos fans. But this is there's only up from here for Bo Nix, and especially when he starts running the football in choice moments, as you saw Josh Allen do today. Bo Nix was taking notes from Josh Allen, and he's going to take some of that game and bring it to his next season.
Sean Payton vocally believed there prior to the draft, on draft day, and every day since. And I think a whole lot of folks have followed him in that support of Bo Nix, a fantastic rookie season that comes to a close at the hands of the Bills and Josh Allen. Ryan Harris, Bryant McFadden, fantastic work as always as our coverage continues here on CBS Sports HQ. Straight ahead, what a play this was.
Great play. 4th down play, by the way, Joe.
We'll have full highlights from this game. Josh Allen up next, sounding off after the wild card win.